Hello learners and welcome to your natural sciences lesson. So today we're going to be dealing with the practice questions and the application questions that are based on the effect of electric current. So let's start. The first question given to us needs us to write down our own definition of an electric circuit. So we need to know what this thing is, what this electric circuit is. So by definition, if you were to write it down, what would you say? And the next question wants us to write down the type of energy that a battery has, or the type of energy that a battery supplies into the circuit. So an electric circuit, we should know that it is a conducting pathway for electricity. So the electric circuit is a conducting pathway for electricity. So when someone asks you to define or to define an electric circuit in your own words, you can play around with these words, but then make sure that you do say that an electric circuit is a conducting pathway for electricity. Now, what type of energy does a battery have? We know that a battery has potential energy that it is giving into the circuit, into the electric circuit, and then the electric circuit will give that energy to the electrons. Now, once those electrons receive the potential energy, they will start moving in one direction, because before they were just moving around randomly. Once they receive the energy, they will start moving in one direction from the negative terminal to the positive terminal throughout this entire circuit. And once they start moving, they will have both the potential energy and the kinetic energy. So the battery has potential energy. Next question. Now, we are supposed to list 3 materials that conduct electricity and 3 materials that do not conduct electricity. So, from the top of our head, we know that the materials that do not conduct electricity, we know them as insulators. So, first of all, we can say wood does not conduct electricity. It doesn't allow electric current to pass through. We can also have rubber. That's also another material that doesn't allow electrical current to pass through. And then lastly, we can have maybe plastic as a material that also doesn't allow electricity to pass through or electric current to pass through. Now, with the ones that are conductors, the ones that allow current to pass through, the ones that conduct or allow electricity to pass through, first of all, we can have copper as one of the metals used in the conducting wires as a copper. And then we can also have aluminum as one of the materials that is able to allow electricity to pass through. And then lastly, we can think of gold maybe. Can even write silver, because those ones are also substances that do allow electrical current to pass through, that do allow electricity to pass through. So now moving on to our next question. We are supposed to draw the symbols for the following components. Which components are they referring to? We have a cell, we have a conducting wire, we have a resistor, we have a light bulb, an open switch, and a variable resistor. So we need to show the symbols of each of these components. We do know that a cell must contain a negative terminal and a positive terminal. And if you have more than one cell, then that is going to be called a battery. A negative terminal is shorter than the positive terminal. So this is going to be your cell connected to the wires, so that's going to be the cell. If we have more than one of these things now connected in the same electrical circuit, that is now going to be a battery. More than one cell now makes up a battery. Just one cell, it is a cell consisting of a negative terminal and a positive terminal. Now, a conducting wire, we know that a conducting wire is just a straight line, so basically it's a wire, just a straight line that is able to conduct or allow electricity or electric current to pass through from one point to the next. Now, a resistor as our symbol again. Remember, a resistor can be drawn in one of 2 ways. We can draw a resistor using the symbol of the zigzag, or we can draw a resistor using this other symbol. So we can have There you go. So we can draw our resistor in one of two ways. Both of these symbols, they denote a resistor. Depending on the source that you use, you can find one of these two symbols to denote a resistor. And then the next one is a light bulb. We need to know the symbol for a light bulb, be able to draw it. Remember, a light bulb, it is that circle with a cross inside, also connected with the wires on the other side. So that's basically a symbol for a light bulb. Remember that a light bulb is also an example of a resistor. It resists the flow of current passing through it. It doesn't make it easier for current to pass through it, but it does allow it to pass through. And then we also have an open switch. Now, an open switch, you can find it that is connected in the wire again. We have an open switch. Remember, this is disconnecting the circuit, not allowing any current to pass through. So this is our open switch. So if it was a closed switch, it was just going to be a wire with a switch. So to show that this, we know what it is, we're going to label it as a closed switch. If, for instance, if maybe they do ask you to draw a symbol for a closed switch, this is going to be a closed switch, and the first one at the top, because as you can see, there's an opening between the wires, then that is going to be an open switch. And then the last one being a variable resistor. The symbol for a variable resistor, as we have said, it is also a resistor, but a special type of a resistor, because this one, we can be able to control it, we can be able to adjust it into the resistance that we want. So the symbol is similar to the one that we had initially, but the main difference is that on this one, there is going to be an arrow passing through that symbol of a resistor. So these are our symbols of each of these components given to us here. So before moving on to our next set of questions, we're just going to quickly go for a short break, and I will see you just after this.